Welcome to the Land Your Bet Sports Betting Show, looking at Knicks and Sixers in Game 1 of that playoff series in the East. Go New York, go New York, go. We also got the Cavs and Magic up already in a video, so make sure you check that out. Subscribe to the page. Gonna be looking at all these playoff games moving forward, man, breaking them down, throwing my picks your way when I've got them as well, which I do have a couple more picks here in this one, threw a couple plays into the Magic and Cavs video as well. Also throwing those into the Discord, so make sure you check out the link in the description of the video. Free right now. Got a lot of great people coming in there and helping out. Got some really good NBA discussion, MMA and MLB. Lots of stuff going on right now in the sports world, but we are focused on this Knicks and Sixers game, so let's get it. Philly is healthy. We're going to see everybody in there. I mean, as healthy as we assume that Joel Embiid is. Obviously, he did not look 100% in that last game against Miami, or even the game where the games prior to that. There still seemed to be some hobbling going on for him. We'll see. I got him at probably about 80 to maybe 85%, but there's always the possibility of re-injuring things. Not saying I want that to happen. But yeah, that's going to be a huge storyline moving forward, obviously, is what is the health of Joel Embiid. Knicks, we know who we got, and we know who's healthy moving forward. We've got the same starting lineup that we've had now for a while. We'll have Mitch Rob coming off the bench with a bunch of those other dudes as well, but really nothing to report here for this Knicks team. As you can expect, probably 40 minutes plus for most of the dudes in the starting lineup, interspersed with some of these guys. Not sure how much we'll see Precious Achiuwa. To be honest, he kind of seems to be bumped from the lineup at this point, with Mitchell Robinson and Isaiah Hartenstein doing the bulk of the work up front for the bigs. Key thing to look at in the season stats between these two teams is that the offensive rating for the Knicks is absurd at this point. 7th best in the league. Jalen Brunson, a one-man wrecking crew with his boys doing the work, sort of the dirty work, like Dante DiVincenzo hitting shots. You got Josh Hart just doing everything at this point, a lot of rebounding. Still very slow, and both these teams are going to be slow in their pace. But I do think that the offensive rating for both teams will help them. Obviously, that 14th offensive rating for the 76ers, not something that it would have been the case if Joel Embiid was around for much more of this of the season. But what is interesting is that even with Joel, the rebounding is way in favor of the Knicks. Rebound percentage on the season, #1. And this Philly team has been a bad rebounding team. Even when Joel was here and playing before he got hurt and missed a lot of time, they were still a bad rebounding team. They were 25th in terms of defensive rebound percentage on the season before Joel left, and then obviously just maintained that awful rebounding percentage when he was gone entirely. But really, the key thing for them with Joel, more than anything, I mean, obviously getting to the line, all the offense, but on defense, they cannot stop anybody from getting to the rim without Joel Embiid. And when they have him, they go from one of the worst interior defenses to probably the best interior defense, even when he's not full health. So that's something to keep an eye on, is if he plays good big minutes, as he will if he's healthy, then this Knicks team's going to have a little bit more trouble getting to the rim. But to be honest, we'll look at their offense. They're not relying on that very much. If you take a look at what I mean, they're really not, they don't get to the rim very often. They do get into the paint at the 14th highest frequency. And you can see there, Philly best opponent paint field goal percentage on the season. And once you get close to the basket, you're not getting much against them. But this team has really changed its way of playing and has relied a lot more on jump shooting, to be honest, and threes as well for the Knicks. But one of the first things we should look at here is the offensive rebounding, which is probably the main storyline for most people, because as we were saying, that Philly defensive rebounding team percentage rather is awful, which is why they give up the 5th most offensive rebounds to their opponent on the season. And the Knicks are the best offensive rebounding team in the league. I mean, with Mitch Rob back, it's not even close now. Probably the best offensive rebounder in the league by himself. If the Knicks turn the ball over, Philly has the most steals in the league. They will turn those points and those turnovers rather into points, 3rd most points off of turnovers. And the Knicks, they're good at getting back. So even when they do turn the ball over, because they have the 18th highest turnover percentage, even when they, well, actually, that should say they have the 13th highest turnover percentage, because they're 18th worst at it. But the points off of turnovers don't come in the fast break, because they get back on defense really, really well and really quickly. So I think, look, the transition stuff will only be there for the Knicks if this Philly team is missing a lot of shots. And they might very well. So we'll see. I do think it's a little bit more of an offensive battle here than anything else. But one of my bets is actually for a side in this game. Quick look at the Philly offense, though, and a couple things I want to point out. The free throw rate for Philly is awesome, and it will continue to be awesome once with Joel back. And it would probably be a lot better if Joel was there for the majority of the season. They also get a lot of offensive rebounds, because they're a much better offensive rebounding team than they are rebounding in general. But Knicks, one of the better defensive rebounding teams and the best rebounding team overall in the league, right? So I don't know that that's going to be there for them. I did want to point out, though, that with the free throws for Philly, the reason I have an asterisk next to the Knicks' 7th best opponent free throw attempt rate is because in the last 10 games, they're actually at 20th, right? And they've had Mitchell Robinson back for a good amount of that, they've just been fouling a lot more. So I'm not, I do kind of think that they're a little bit more of the team we've seen in the last 10 to 15 games with the way that their defensive rating has gone down in the last 10 games, also about 20th in defensive rating. So they've really turned into this like offensive team that still plays super slowly, but just crashes the boards and sort of pulverizes you on offense. On defense, not quite as much, and they will foul you rather than give you anything easy. So I think we might see some free throws for this Philly team. They are going to go to the basket pretty consistently, but I have an asterisk next to their rim frequency because they haven't had Joel. With Joel in there, their rim frequency is going to be in the top 5 for sure, right? So on the season, they might be 11th, but if Joel hadn't missed half the games of this entire season, I think that would be a little bit higher. The other couple places that maybe Philly can take advantage of the Knicks is the corner 3, and if they can get into transition, like 13th most transition points, or I should say the Knicks are 13th best at limiting transition points, but they're better at everything else, right? Like their defense is incredible in all the other areas of the floor. This is one where you might be able to take advantage, and the other one is that corner 3 frequency or 3-point percentage for their opponent. The Knicks do give up a decent amount of corner 3s. Like I said, going to be good everywhere. So this is at least one of the weaker positions for them on defense. And if Philly does take advantage of that, which they will, I think they're going to really need Joel to get the ball down low, suck the defense down, and then go ahead and kick it back out, right? Because if otherwise, this Knicks team will just have its way, essentially, guarding the perimeter because they don't really need to unless it's catch and shoot stuff from Joel on the going down low and then back out stuff, right? So they're really going to need Joel to be his at least, like I said, 85, 90% in order to really be impactful in this game. Full transparency, I am a Knicks fan. If you didn't know that already, and I proclaim it pretty constantly, know that I'm a Knicks fan before you take this bet on. But everything for the Knicks to me just screams like if Joel was 100%, then yeah, he transcends any of the stuff that I just told you in this entire video. However, he's not. And as a result, this Knicks team is going to bring it to them, not only on the offensive glass, but also on defense, pressuring the ball and forcing it out of Joel's hands, maybe not even having to double him at times. And when they do, they'll double off of the correct dudes, right, for Philly, and take away and not just give up easy shots to their shooters. So yeah, I think this is a Knicks game to lose. I think it's the Knicks series to lose. If you want to do a little parlay where you take the Knicks to win game 1 and them to win the whole series, that's about plus 130 right now, but I'm just taking them with the points, not scared of the minus 2.5. At minus 115 right now, you might have to take this at 3 or 3.5 if you don't have an account with MGM, but that was the best place that I could find it. So I got a full unit on the Knickerbockers to take game 1. Also have a play, a prop up here. Everybody's favorite Josh Hart, over 10.5 rebounds, which is an absurd line for somebody his size, but it's plus 110, which I really like that we're still getting really good juice on it. And I got half a unit on it there to make a little bit more than half a unit back. 23 rebound chances in his 4 games versus Philly. That is because of a very clear reason. Right now, he's getting minutes. He's going to be just out there for at least 40, right? Like we know the dudes that are going to be playing 40 plus minutes out there, and he's one of them. Dante DiVincenzo is probably one of them, although maybe with OG back, it's a little bit fewer, but he and Jalen Brunson, let's put it that way, are playing 40 minutes in this game for Jay Hart. So that's one thing. We saw him play 39 minutes a game against this Philly team. Really the key here is that Hart is going to be attacking the offensive glass, and this is what happens with Philly in general, is that there's at least one, if not 2 guys that are just solely focused on boxing out Joel Embiid, which clears the lane for other dudes to come in and get those boards. That's why you see Josh Hart with a very low contested rebound chance percentage, or low contested rebounds in general, right? Like he's getting some a decent amount of uncontested rebounds because of the fact that, like I said, the other dudes, Isaiah Hartenstein and Mitch Robb especially, are going to be completely busy with their hands full with Joel Embiid and boxing him out, and they'll get the rebounds when they can. But I love the idea of Hart coming in and continuing to get those rebound chances off of some easier boards for him because the lane is cleared out by the other dudes, making sure they take care of Joel. And that seems to be the case with a lot of different teams who athletic wings like Josh Hart come in, small forwards, players with his rebounding profile, according to Courtside Pal, where Philly gives up the 5th most boards to his rebounding profile. Those types of dudes are going to come in and have success against Philly because of the fact that their bigs need to spend so much time boxing out Embiid. It leaves the ability for them to go chase down those boards. And that is all the time that I have for you guys in this one. Also going to get up a couple more videos there for the West Coast game, or Western Conference games, I should say. And we've got the Cleveland and Orlando video already up, so check that one out. Jump into that Discord, link in the description. Subscribe to the page if you would. Show up for that 2:30 p.m. Eastern live stream. Bring your bets and throw them in the comments. And until I do see you then, happy betting.